uses one look around the crowd to know it's finally race day. The atmosphere at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is incredible. Personally, I think we're in for a brilliant race. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane.
What's going on, guys? Beasts and Dragons here, and welcome to round 2 of the Split Screen Championship on F1 2020. We are here in Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix, and it looks to be a pretty good one.
Well, absolutely, because as you can see on your screen right now, I am on pole position and you are in P2, so obviously nice to beat you here, Beasts.
Yeah, so Ferrari causing a major upset. And, meanwhile, Max Verstappen doing way better here than he did in real-life qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So, yeah, Dragons able to get pole position for this Canadian Grand Prix. The race strategy-wise, it is a one-stop race, but, however, there might be rain on the way towards the midpoint of this Grand Prix.
Well, we'll have to find out as we get into the Canadian Grand Prix. So here we are, revving up to 5 headlights here for the Canadian Grand Prix. And we've held for a while. It's go for the Canadian Grand Prix.
And you've got a pretty decent start of pole position, but we get a great getaway. You've been bogged down from the start into turn 1. And we are taking the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix, and there goes the Mercedes. I think it is Lewis Hamilton. Having a look at you down in turn 2.
Well, obviously, it looked like I was going to go 11 laps on this stint, but obviously that would be suicide. So, I'm deciding to try and stay out and drag this soft set of tyres to lap 11 of the Grand Prix.
Well, I think that's the idea here. Since rain will be on the way, the idea is to drag these soft tyres as long as possible before the rain arrives. That way you can make one less pit stop compared to stopping on for mediums, then intermediate tyres. So I'm pretty sure track position would mean everything here.
Absolutely, but what also means everything is that I do not waste my tyres fighting you. Obviously, that is going to be a hard thing to do because I'm always ready for a good battle against you, especially when defending against you. But now, I'm going to have to try not to battle. It's just yellow flags at the start of Sector 3. I wonder what that's about. Well, was it really going to last long? Was I really not going to fight you straight away? Here I go, going to the outside line. You've made that pretty easy, but no, you haven't, as I was too far back. So I haven't gone for the overtake just yet.
No, not yet. So you're just biding your time here. Remember, Mercedes, we forgot to mention this, they only managed to lock up the second row of the grid, and they're still 3 and 4 right now. And they're quite some distance behind us, the race leader. So they've got quite a bit of work to do if they want to get yet another victory here in Canada. So we nearly hit the wall there on the exit.
I've had a pretty good exit here as we already are starting lap 5. Not much has happened. I've been playing cat and mouse with you. But now I'm going to go around the outside and it will turn to the inside. And I'm wondering if you're going to still be there. No, quite easy there on the exit.
Yeah, and on lap 5, we are starting to see a bit of rainfall here.
So you're telling me I went for lap 11 for nothing? I'm not even going to get a little advantage. Nothing there. Already, it's starting to rain here in Canada.
Yeah, and grip levels will be deteriorating the more it rains, so Dragons taking the lead is absolutely crucial for this Grand Prix.
I may as well have been going all out if I knew that it was going to turn up on lap 5. I've just been not battling you for nothing, but you are really struggling on this lap.
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, grip levels will be deteriorating the wetter it gets on this circuit. And maybe that might be the deciding factor between winning and losing this Canadian Grand Prix. You're kind of streaking away from me here, and it's a bit annoying, because it doesn't really happen.
Yeah, you're not used to being slower than me, so that's nice to see. A little bit of character development on this game. But it's not over yet, there's still a long way to go, and maybe I'll struggle on the wets, and that's a lovely
nice
corner
one,
cut. My first corner cut of the race, to be fair to me. Lap 6 now. Well, this is a little bit of a scary moment here, going into the chicane. That wall really sticks out over there. Apparently, I was meant to pit this lap, which is not what I chose. And weirdly enough, one of the Mercedes are in. I think it was Hamilton. That's interesting, because it's not stopped raining at all.
Yeah,
by any
DRS
means.
is yet to be disabled, so it's interesting to see what tyres he's going for. My teammate Alex Albon is in the pit, so maybe the AI are committed to the undercut for intermediate tyres.
Well, meanwhile, my teammate Sebastian Vettel, even if I did pit on the same lap as him, he's so far behind, and he's stuck behind a Renault. So he's also stayed out. That's the point I was trying to make. But if I did pit on the same lap as Seb, then not much would really change, as I've got a massive gap ahead of him. Now here we go again. Here comes Verstappen. Luckily for me, I did not get worried and start squirming about on the straight.
I think Bottas, yes he has. Bottas is now in the pit lane. It's lap 9 now. We are now at the halfway point of this Grand Prix, and we're going down your inside into turn 1 on dry tyres on a wet track. This might not end well. It hasn't ended well. Dragon spins off. We've nearly spun off as well.
I think it might be time for the intermediates. I'm not sure. Maybe I just went into first gear, but that's a horrible spin for me. I've lost a heap of time.
And just like that, the wave of momentum has changed in this Grand Prix. We're struggling as we almost spun it into the wall at turn 5. So it's definitely time to put those intermediates on.
Now my question is, did the AI pit for the dries or the inters? That's the question here. Even if I do pit and they're on the inters, I'm going to lose a lot of time after that spin. I've done a Vettel and I'm Charles Leclerc. What is happening there?
You might as well have just picked Sebastian Vettel.
Definitely. So now is definitely a very good time to come into the pits.
Here it is, lap 9. We've gone half distance on these tyres, and we're gonna get rid of them. They've done their part. Now it's time for the Red Bull team to put on these intermediate tyres.
I was in gear 3 when I entered the pits. And meanwhile, that McLaren is staying out.
Oh, the McLaren being very bold. They're holding up both Mercedes cars. 2.6 second stop for us. So pretty good job for the Red Bull team.
Are they even on the intermediates? I'm really confused on what the AI's motives are here.
Yeah, we don't know if they're on intermediates yet. We're going to find out. As we're going to rejoin the track in 5th place in clean air.
In complete traffic is where I've come out of the pits in P10. And I believe the AI are actually on the dries. So have we made the wrong call here? Meanwhile, Ricciardo and Giovinazzi are really fighting it out for P8. As track position is important in conditions like this.
You've got to be very careful, man, because it's so easy to collide with the AI, especially when they're fighting each other. And there's an example there, of what not to do. Thankfully, you did not damage your front wing there.
Right, it should be easier now to get ahead of Giovinazzi if he goes defensive. If he goes defensive, he's making life very tricky for me. Is the Italian? What on earth is this man doing? He's really holding me up here.
And you damaged your front wing as well.
I could not lose any more time behind Giovinazzi right now. I need to get ahead of him. He's really taking the biscuit.
Yeah, because we're pulling away in clean air and you're stuck behind. And now for Romeo, so maybe
he's staying out as well. Oh, for God's sake. I need to get ahead, but I've had a terrible exit. Maybe I can just dive it into turn 1 and get lucky.
Well, hopefully you do, because
let's see how it goes.
There's more damage. He's going to send it into turn 1. And there you go. Past Giovinazzi up into 9th place.
Oh, hallelujah. Thank God. And he's actually under pressure from the tracing point of Sergio Perez here. As Sergio Perez is looking to go around the outside, he's made it look a lot easier than I have.
Well, so lap 11 now. We've just got a notification that DRS has been disabled. And we've got a 3-second penalty again, for God's sake.
Well, if I can somehow, which I probably won't, but if I can somehow get my pace on the ball, I can catch him. Meanwhile, Vettel, Albon, and that McLaren, I believe, is Sainz, is in the pit. So is that Vettel ahead over there behind you?
I'm not too sure. We've got yellow flags over the first sector.
Oh, no.
So
the McLaren. No way is he jumping me here. It's Sainz, and thankfully, I've come out ahead of the McLaren. Meanwhile, there's still yellow flags in the first sector.
So something must have happened. I think the AI might have made a mistake over the last sector towards turn 1, but this race continues. George Russell has made that mistake as he is out of the Canadian Grand Prix. Unfortunately for him, I thought he was going to take advantage of these conditions, because if you saw the split screen video on Silverstone, he ended up getting a podium.
Absolutely. Well, it is really starting to chuck it down here in Montreal, but luckily, well, I've got a bit of track position. Well, one of the Mercedes are in the pits. I doubt I will jump them after my horrible run of a few laps here.
And there is George Russell. His Williams is parked at turn 2. And there he is out of the Grand Prix. So we've got a 3-second penalty. So it means we're going to have to pull away from that Mercedes. Otherwise, we don't have a chance of breaking the streak of 1-2 finishes.
Well, unfortunately for me, I'm not even... Oh my god, I'm really struggling for grip at the end of turn 1. But I'm not even near the Mercedes. So I might not even end up getting a podium in this race.
So it looks like that spin earlier in the Grand Prix on lap 9 has proven costly for Dragons here, as he's in P4. He's got a McLaren right on his gearbox as well.
Absolutely under a lot of pressure, especially with that damage I've got. It's a big issue. So Beast has started the final lap of the Grand Prix. Not much has happened, except I'm somewhat with the Mercedes and pulled away from Sainz. And you are trying to keep a 3-second gap between you and Bottas, and it's looking quite good for Red Bull.
Yeah, so, again, second race in a row where we've been given a 3-second penalty. But right now, we are pushing hard to make sure that we can extend that gap to the Mercedes car of Valtteri Bottas. And we are doing quite well at the moment to get our first win of the season.
Meanwhile, my tyres are slightly going up, most considerably. The front left, look at that, 65%. As I'm going through this final lap. I know it's not going to blow up, but if it did, that would be a definite worry. Didn't we pit on the same lap?
We pit on the same lap, but my rear tyres are kind of going into a bit of a toll here. I was 56% on the rear left.
Jeez.
But we came into this Grand Prix knowing that we needed a podium to stay in touch with the Mercedes cars.
And me.
And you, for some reason. But somehow, we've timed it right, we've got the pace, and we think that we've pulled away from Bottas. I don't know what it's going to be, but we come through the final chicane on the road to win the Canadian Grand Prix. But the question is, have we won it on the road? We crossed the line. We don't know how far Bottas is. We're going to find out later. Bottas will finish second. Lewis Hamilton will complete the top 3. The championship leader once again on the podium in Canada. Dragons, I think you could have won this one.
Absolutely. Another point I have to make is that you actually kept your car on the road compared to me, as I did spin earlier. But is that the win for Max Verstappen? We'll have to find out. Well,
it is! It is the win for Max Verstappen in Canada. Get in there! First win of the season.
A brilliant win for Max Verstappen. He kept things well under control. And look at Adrian Newey. He smiles unhappily on the podium.
What a way to get our first win of the season in Canada. So here are the full race results for today's Canadian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen, despite getting a 3-second penalty, wins the Canadian Grand Prix ahead of Valtteri Bottas in second place and Lewis Hamilton completing the top 3.
Well, absolutely, the 2-stop did not work for Mercedes. As you can see, for goodness sake, Beast, you could have given me that fastest lap. Look how close I was to the fastest lap there.
Just a few hundreds off the fastest lap, Dragons. That is Formula 1, basically. Yep. So you came 4th from pole position. Not a great day for you, but, you know, you still got a decent haul of points.
To be honest, with the damage, I'm actually pretty happy about my pace. And if I didn't have that damage, if I didn't spin, I think I probably would have been with you for the win.
I definitely agree with you. Carlos Sainz dragging his car from outside the top 10 to come home for 5th. Great points haul for McLaren.
And the same can be said for Danny Kvyat, but the same cannot be said for Sebastian Vettel.
Only finishing 7th, finishing behind Kvyat and Sainz. Kimi Raikkonen also dragging his car from the rear end of the field to finish 8th. And Daniel Ricciardo struggled today. He finishes 9th. And my teammate, Alex Albon, not pulling any weight whatsoever, completing the top 10. So that is the end of what has been an incredible Canadian Grand Prix, guys. Feel free to like, comment, follow, subscribe for more Formula 1 content, especially on F1 2020. And we'll see you later. Goodbye.